Here we go. The lovely ladies of Boston in 3, 2, 1.
The best leadership happens when you step away for 10 minutes.
This is Back in 10. Hey everyone, welcome to Back in 10. I am Savannah.
And I'm Jen.
Jen, I think, as we progress into this podcast, I'm just going to make you a singer. You're just going to be ready to
Jen,
pinpoint
see, like,
rap.
yours is Savannah. Like, it ends on a high note. Mine's Jen. Like, no. When you say
Jennifer!
Jennifer, yeah, I could do that. That's what my grandmother actually used to call me. Jennifer. Yeah.
Oh, that was very.
Jennifer. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know where that came from. I'm tired
No,
today.
not that. Not that. No.
What fell? Something fell off my desk. Oh no, my
Oh,
arm broke. It's okay. It's fine. We're fine. You know why we're fine? Because we are about to talk about hiring, the interview process. Okay, so you have found candidates, or better yet, they've found you because of all the tips we offered from the last episode. You've responded quickly, your communication was friendly and clear, and now we're not going to overcomplicate the screening process. Are we, Jen?
Mhm. No, ma'am.
So, how do we interview with confidence? How do we interview with that clarity? And
Mhm.
how do we make that connection so good that they don't ever want to leave?
Yeah, a few tips.
Okay.
You could use an employment application. That's a great one to kind of like see their answers, to see their writing style. Like, are they can't use like, you know, spell check or anything like that? Is it legible? Just different things like that. Now, I would recommend it. You don't have to, but there's an option there.
Yeah.
The other tip is have the same list of questions for everyone. Then you can compare the candidates that you have on an equal playing field versus you just kind of going in and just going all over the place. Um, if you have a list of questions and then you just write their responses into like your little sheet. So I
Mm.
have a sheet of like 20 questions. And what I really like to do, if you do have another trusted team member that also knows HR rules and regulations, then have
Yeah.
them come in with you. And then you can tag team and go back and forth. So it's like, hey, I'll take the evens and you take the odds, and just kind of go back and forth there. It allows you time to like think and process about what they've said and how they have said it too.
Yeah.
And it just helps to see if the candidate's a good fit for your practice.
Right. I think that I found it in,
Mhm.
when I first started hiring, that having that list of questions and that structure made me seem um I don't know, I was like a newbie to hiring, right? Which I was.
Oh.
But having those lists of questions and having that structure, that
Mhm.
preparation, it really just translate into respect, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
respect for them, in
Yeah.
looking at their resume. I mean,
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
the practice too, because those questions reflect what you need inside the practice.
So I'm gonna do a little role play here. Okay.
Okay.
So I know this is totally unscripted. So you are the candidate and I'm the interviewer. Okay. I'm
Okay.
a pretend I'm a pretend that I have a little friend here with me that's gonna go back and forth. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Savannah. I am Jen. It is so nice to finally meet you in person.
Hi, Jen. I'm excited to be here and to meet you and meet the team.
Awesome, awesome. So, what we're going to do first in the interview today is I'm going to ask you some questions that we ask everyone because we want everyone on our team to, everyone knows a little bit about everybody, but we want to just make sure that we're asking everyone the same exact questions so that way we find the right person that's going to fit our team the best. So, myself and my friend Susie here are going to ask you some questions and we're going to go back and forth. And if we're looking down, it's just because we're taking notes. It's not because that we're not interested, but we're just going to take some notes as we go so we remember all of the amazing things that you have to say.
Oh,
And then once we go through those questions, I would love to know if you have any questions for us. I want to tell you a little bit more about our team too, but don't hesitate. If there's anything that you need, like we're here for you.
that was like beautiful. Like if I was a candidate, I'd be like, "Hot damn, where do I sign on the contract?" Like,
So,
let me
well,
in.
when you
You know,
do it, and look,
you're
this is
not
how,
winging it because
no.
you
And
don't
look,
wing it.
and I trained all of my previous practice managers, regional managers to be able to do this, and then clients to be able to do this because it's not that, you're not new at this. Like you have a new structure. They don't need to know that, but they need to know that like you are there, that you're there for them. And setting that tone from the beginning is so important. And then they
Mhm.
also aren't like, "Oh my god, there's 2 people in this interview," which they're still gonna be, and they're gonna be like, "There's 2 people. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous," and blah, 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 blah. Like, don't even worry about that, right? Just
No.
tell them what it is, get them a little bit more comfortable, and just have a conversation with them. But stick to your questions because when you don't stick to your questions, some non-HR approved questions come up like, "What do you like to do outside of work? What hobbies do you have?" Right? Like you can't ask
Mm,
those things because you could potentially they could put themselves into a protected class without you knowing that, right? But some
yeah.
questions you could ask are this is one that I love. This one actually came from Judy Kay many years ago. Love this one.
Okay.
What is your mission in life? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, how would you rate you? You'd be surprised at the answers that you get.
I love that you're asking behavior-based questions because that
Mhm,
is I mean, because
mhm.
you can train skills, right? You can look at a resume and be
Yep,
like, "Yeah, you know how to suction.
yep,
Awesome." But who are you
yeah,
as a person? Like
yeah,
that those behavior-based questions are like
mhm.
they're so crucial. They're crucial. You have
Yeah,
to
like
ask them. You have to.
yeah, like describe your role as a team member. Now that's setting them up that they're gonna be a member of a team, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe they haven't been a member of a team before. Or like, tell me about a challenge that you had with a past coworker and how were you able to solve that challenge? Right? So it's like, and you'd be surprised with that too, because some people will overshare big time. But there's so many different things that you can do that are behavior based. But again, just have your list and just ask everyone the same questions.
Can I
When
can I ask you a question as the hiring expert?
Yes, ma'am.
I I've heard many a manager say they like to hire someone who has potential.
Mhm.
That is scary to me, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't know that person yet. So I don't really know their potential. I don't
Right.
really know if what is
Mhm.
on that resume is true.
Mhm.
Um how what
So
would you say to someone who is used to I think there's a difference between giving someone a shot and hiring for potential. I
mhm.
I I just don't know how to articulate that probably better, like,
Yeah.
as good as I
So
can.
I think instead of hiring for potential, let's hire for transferable skills.
Mm,
So if someone has not been in a position that they've been in a dental practice before, like see what positions they have had and if there's any transferable skills that you can bring over, that would also
yeah,
be an asset for your team. So think
yeah,
about it that way instead. Look, I would hope that everyone on your team has a potential for something. They have a potential to be an excellent team member, or they have a potential of being a sucky one and walking out the door tomorrow. But I wouldn't hire for potential because again, potential's different. Let's look and see what skills they have, what strengths they have, and if you can help to bring those out even more within the team that you have. Like, you
and
need
what
to make sure that you have the ability as a leader to also bring out the best in them. And if you can't do that, then don't hire them.
Okay, I want to go back to something you said for skills, right?
Mhm.
Now, can we clarify that when we're talking about skills in the conversation that we're having right now, we're really talking about their soft skills, so like their
Right.
communication skills, their teamwork,
Yep.
their EI,
Yep.
their emotional intelligence, their
Yep.
coachability, because
Yep.
the skills are what's on their
Mhm.
resume, but the soft skills are really what's going to
Right.
get them hired.
Correct.
I just wanna
Correct.
make sure
Yeah,
that
like
everyone knows that
yes. No,
clarification.
great point. Great point. Because look, like if they're a hygienist and they just got out of school, they're gonna be different than if you interview another candidate later today that's been out of school for 10 years.
Right,
However, the candidate that's been out of school for 10 years might not have any emotional intelligence or is not a good team member. And the hygienist that's right out of school is able to be adaptable and is able to, have a good conversation and is positive and is really excited where the other one might not be. So you're really looking to find good people that have skills that you can utilize, the
right.
soft skills that you can utilize, because you cannot teach someone to be a good person. You can
No.
teach them the skills for the job, but you can't teach them to be a good person. So, on that note, let me share a little thing. I'm gonna get ready for this. Okay. So, Savannah, you know this because you've sat in on some of my courses before. But in your interview process, to try to find and cultivate the good people, to find them, weed out the bad ones and find the good ones. I use an acronym in the interview process. So, as you're asking the questions and you're taking notes, as you're having conversations with them, you really want to be mindful with not just what they say, but how they say it. So, even in the employment application, right? Are they using complete sentences? Are they following instructions? If they can't follow a written instruction in an employment application, they're never going to be able to follow your instructions if you hire them, right?
Right.
So, in the interview process, I like to use something called the BEST method, and BEST is an acronym. And I came up with these based on things that my dad used to do, Miss Savannah. So my dad was, pops. He was a detective and hostage negotiator for 37 years. In a city outside of Boston, and also did it for New England and traveled the country and um, spoke about hostage negotiations and all that fun stuff too. So he also interrogated any male that I brought home that I wanted to potentially date. So that's where some of these things have come from. So the best method, the B stands for body language. Wow. Um, and and you want to make sure that this candidate is excited about joining your team. Are they leaning into the conversation? Are they like slouch back with their arms wrapped around? Like you want someone that's interested and that they're excited. They're leaning in. The E in best stands for eyes. And when you're asking questions, if someone blinks rapidly before they answer or they look up to the right, it can be a sign of deception. Now, can be, right? They could have a cracked cornea or something in their eyeball. But again, it's just a visual cue for you just to take a look at and just be mindful of. The S is smile. And you can always tell if someone has a genuine smile or a fake one. I'm not talking teeth. I have a really hard time at doing a fake smile, but you guys all know the you probably can think of someone in your life that you've seen a fake smile before. So you know what I'm talking about. And then the T stands for tone. Tone is so important because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It's how
Yeah.
that person is communicating with you. Do they have a positive tone or are they kind of just not really excited to be there? They like Eeyore, right? You want someone that's going to be supportive and excited not just to be on your team, but also that same way for your patients. So, really be mindful as you're asking this candidate these questions and having conversations with them of what their body, their eyes, their smile, and their tone are telling you if they're a good person. So, just a
Mhm.
little tip that you can weave into your interview process, just to help you determine if they're a good fit for your practice.
I love the best method. I I also love sitting in Jen's classes, and when she's done describing it, everyone is like, "What? Yeah, like, yes. Like, why didn't we think
And
of this sooner?"
look, and you can use this outside of the dental practice too. So, like, you can ask your children or your spouse, like, if they clean their room or if they took out the trash and, look at their eyes and how are they answering. There's so many different times that you can use this, but it's really nice to weave it into your interview process. Um, it's fun too, but teach the team member if you have a team member that's doing the interview with you, teach them this. Go over it with them so that way, like, you can write in the margins of your paper, right? As you're going through
Mhm.
and asking these questions, rate yourself from 1 to 10. Did they pause? Did they blink? Were they excited? Like, were they kind of a tone of like questioning? Like, just be mindful of these things. Don't There's so many red flags that come up in an interview that people don't think about. And then later they go, "Oh my gosh, there were so many red flags." But if you
Yeah.
incorporate the best method, you see those red flags because you are mindful of those things before it gets to the point where you're like, "Oh my gosh, why did I hire this person?"
So, okay, we've had a great interview process.
Mhm.
What happens next? Oh, okay, we've thanked them for
Mhm.
for spending time with us today.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you give them a timeline, Jen, of when they'll hear from you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And stick to it. And look, if the interview process takes longer than anticipated for whatever reason, but you told them that you were gonna call them on Monday anyways and tell them that things are taking a little bit longer than anticipated. We're still really excited, but I would say it's I it's a it's a problem if things have gotten delayed. You need to
Yeah,
act quickly, right?
yeah.
If it's delayed, it's because, like, there was a natural disaster or like an extenuating circumstance that was out of anyone's control, right? But you really want to make sure that you act quickly, that you have these conversations, that you interview people, and that you are, we always say hire slow, fire fast, but you're not a turtle. Go in, take the time, like, don't take so long that now they go somewhere else. You need to move quickly, but don't make a fast decision, if that makes sense, right?
That
Move
makes
quickly,
sense.
but do not make a fast decision. Yeah, because if not, that open seat turns into a revolving one, and you
Yeah,
don't
we don't
want
want
that.
that. We don't want that. So, the interview really is your chance to understand who that someone really is. I mean, and not just who they are on paper, but who they are in front of you and who they'll be
Right,
in front of your patients.
right,
Um, so
right.
when it comes to the interview process, like we said at the beginning, prepare intentionally. It's good to have those structure and have those questions ready to go. Ask smart questions. Really listen. That's something we didn't talk about too. Like, you shouldn't be the one doing all the talking, right? You're not
No.
interviewing this. You want to, there's power in that pause. Ask your question and shut the F up. Let them
Mhm,
answer it. How long it takes them.
mhm,
Are they processing
mhm,
it? Are they making something up? Like, you wanna
mhm.
let them speak. So you listen deeply. And then,
Yeah,
I mean, ultimately always go back to it. Think about your why. Protect the people who are already
mhm.
invested in your practice and make
Yeah.
sure that this is a cultural fit.
Yeah, and wrap up and close, you started off the interview really well, right? Like, we did that little role play at the beginning, and we'll finish it with the role play now too. So, Savannah, thank you so much for coming in for an interview today. I am so excited, and it's been an honor to learn more about you and the things that make you special and why you could be an asset to our team.
Thank you, Miss Steadman. I am honored to have stepped foot into this practice. I've heard nothing but really great things from your other team members about working here, and I truly truly think that I would be an asset to this practice.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And look, we're still in the interview process, so I will give you a call on Monday to tell you where we are. But we're looking to make a decision next week, and we
Okay.
are excited to talk to you more.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks.
There you go. There you go.
Wait, actually, I have one more thing to say before we close
Yes.
out.
Yes.
There are some candidates that apply that when you say, "What questions can I answer for you?" They're like, "Oh, no, I don't I think you'd answer them. I think you have any?"
Mhm.
That is a big red flag.
Uh,
That's a red
unless
flag.
unless you have done a huge deep dive into everything on your team, because I do that. So I would say, "Look, here's all the benefits of our team, our core values, our XYZ, go through all those things." They've
Yep.
usually asked a lot of questions in the interview process, so I know what you mean, though, because there's some that don't ask any, like, at
Any.
all.
That doesn't show, like, and for me, that's
Yeah,
what I
okay,
mean,
I
like,
get
that
that
doesn't
then.
show
Yeah,
respect or investment in my
right,
time for
right.
he
Uh-huh,
and I know, like, if you
uh-huh,
I listed the benefit package on the ad.
mhm,
If your candidate doesn't show up with 1 or 2 questions, that's, like,
mm-mm,
to me, I was like, "They're gonna get into the back and not ask any questions. They're gonna go rogue. That's
right,
gonna be a
right.
problem."
Oh, and I used to know, like, if we were going through our list of questions and I started jumping and not going in order, like, my team member that was with me knew, like, this wasn't
No
going
bueno.
well, so we're just gonna jump and breeze through these versus, like, asking every single one. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on number 2. I'm going down to 18. I ain't going through."
She
Yeah.
goes from turtle to tortoise. I mean, turtle to hare. She just, like, full on rabbit that.
Very quickly. Yeah, you just say rabbit that? Oh, dear God.
Yeah, she rabbit that.
Okay. Well, uh,
You said hopped questions. I'm
hey,
just
there you go.
yeah.
I don't leave any little nuggets of joy behind me, though. Sorry about that. Okay. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us on Back in 10.
If something made you laugh, nod, or feel a little more human, share it with a friend and make sure that you're subscribed.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Back in 10 Pod for more behind the scenes, updates, and probably a little chaos.
We're not here to have it all figured out. We're just here to tell you the things that we wish someone had told us.
And remind you that leadership doesn't have to be perfect, just real.
We'll be back in 10.